everyone, I'm Courtney Courtwright. Thanks for joining me for 9 on the positive side. Let's get to your feel-good news of the day. NASCAR fans enjoyed the Coca-Cola 600 last weekend in Charlotte. Brett Baldock is introducing us to one of the Speedway chefs responsible for feeding both hungry fans and also crew members.
When you arrive at Charlotte Motor Speedway, you're just feet away from one of the most unique restaurants in the country. The Speedway Club is located on the 6th floor of the Smith Tower, offering much more than food, but a full, unobstructed view of the 1.5-mile racetrack.
I mean, I see it every day, so I come in here and just be like, oh, wow, a racetrack. But a lot of people come here and their eyes just get big, and that makes me feel good. RJ
Parker is the executive chef, serving up different racing-themed dishes for the past decade. His menu doesn't just revolve around race weekends. The restaurant is open year-round.
It's a lot of hustle and bustle, a lot of time management, planning, getting your staff together, things like that. It's really, really fast-paced.
He's used to the speed and pressure of cooking at a racetrack. Before joining the Speedway Club, RJ was in the military for 15 years, serving as a personal chef at NATO and at the Pentagon for Donald Rumsfeld.
It's very exciting. I know a lot of people always ask me, like, how is it to cook like for presidents and secretaries of states and things like that, and foreign dignitaries. It was just enjoyable. It's just something I love to do. I love to cook, so it's really not a job. It's just something I like to do, so it's like a hobby to me.
His passion in the kitchen is shared by everyone at the Speedway Club. It's like working on a pit crew, but instead of changing tires and fueling race cars, they're satisfying the hunger of race fans.
Just everyone here, we're just like a big, huge family. Everyone gets along with everybody. We all work together. We all got that common goal.
And that was Brett Baldock reporting. Now, one Jones County woman is helping families get baby formula here in the East. Tracy Terrell of Jones County is the owner of the Baby Vin, a thrift store boutique in Maysville. She created a baby formula pantry to help out mothers. The pantry is pay what you can, and the money collected goes back to buying more formula for them.
The point of this is not to stock up your kitchen or your pantry. The point of this is to help the ones that don't know how they're going to get that next can, because there are people in that position. And I have had people that have come in and said, I don't know what I would have done.
She says if any moms have any unopened cans of formula that they're not in need of, they can donate them to the pantry. A church in Memphis, Tennessee had an opportunity to give back by offering free gas to dozens of lucky drivers. Check this out. The Faith International Ministry Center Church hosted a gas giveaway event. The first 100 cars in line were able to get $20 worth of gas, and get this, for free. Church leaders say it's their way of showing their support and also helping out.
This is why we give. We give to be a blessing to people in the community. So the message today is giving hope and inspiration to people who need it.
This church holds this gas giveaway every year. Now, back here in North Carolina, the furniture capital of the world is currently home to one man's collection of African American history. As Chad Tucker shows us, it's a lifetime collection for one many who hopes to find the collection a permanent home.
Before there was any history, there was black history.
For 30 years, F. Lee Howe has been collecting African and African American history.
Which he was the first African American that was on a stamp in the United States in 1948.
Throughout those decades, he's taken his collection on the road to schools and community groups.
He shares his collection as often as he can.
Including this time. We first met him back in 2007.
Well, I call it Thankful Heritage because I am thankful for my heritage and for the history of African Americans. I grew up in a place called Thankful Community. Our church is named Thankful.
His love of history started in that Wilkes County community, a descendant of slaves, learning about his family roots.
Basically, I have a 1831 slave schedule where my great-grandfather was sold. The goal is to have a permanent spot in the triad.
A permanent home to display his collection.
And we'll have these on display
Photographs, magazine covers, art, and artifacts.
It is an opportunity for the youth to see many of the things that their parents and teachers have told them about, but it's also an opportunity for the seniors to take a trip down memory lane.
A walk that gives all generations a chance to reflect on the darker side of African American history, but also celebrate African Americans.
And they would sell them different slaves, and that's how I see, what I'm doing. That I got to talk to as many people and tell them, and hopefully one day nobody will have to do it.
In High Point, North Carolina, I'm Chad Tucker.
Also here in our state, a traditional silversmith is showing that doing things the old-fashioned way still works. This is Jeff Jobe. He's a master silversmith in Thomasville who is using old methods to have a successful business. But get this, the techniques he's using are thousands of years old, many of which you won't find in the textbooks. He's a lifelong archaeologist that brings the past alive as an old-fashioned silversmith, using the basic ingredients like fire and metal.
I try to create wearable works of art. We are people who do everything. We do gold, silver, copper, bronze. When people buy one of my pieces, it really is not just a piece of Americana, it's a piece of history, but it's a piece of art. You wear it, you enjoy it.
He shares his work at jewelry stores and shows throughout the country, but his main goal is sharing the craft to pass it on to the next generation. One North Carolina couple is living proof there's such a thing as a fairy tale ending. This is Bob and Margaret Boak. In the 1950s, Bob and Margaret met and they immediately hit it off. That was until Bob moved for work. Margaret became the original model for Tinkerbell in Disney's Peter Pan. Now fast forward to more than 70 years later, Bob, who's a veteran, was touring D-Day sites in Europe. He stumbled on a toy shop in Amsterdam selling Tinkerbell toys. He emailed Margaret and the two finally met back up in North Carolina.
We recognized each other immediately. After all those years, why, we hadn't changed that much, I guess. So anyway, I ran towards her, she ran towards me, and somebody there in the background said, "Put your arms around her, give her a kiss."
The couple got married on Valentine's Day in Hollywood's Little Brown Church, having their reception at Disney Studios. Now living in North Carolina, Margaret says she's living the real fairy tale. They say it's all thanks to faith, trust, and of course, a little pixie dust. I just love that story. This is 3-year-old Eliza Bates, and she's making the royal rounds. You can see her right there, and you could probably say she's a big fan of Britain's Queen Elizabeth, honoring the monarch's 70 years on the throne, delighting nursing home residents across the country with surprise royal visits.
I thought she was very sweet, and I thought she was very elegant, and I thought she was well trained, yes.
She loves it. The wave comes out, the straight face, but then she laughs about it.
She's even planting trees in the Queen's honor, one of many royal duties the 96-year-old herself has mastered over the years. A viral video making the rounds on social media. Ahead on 9 on the positive side, meet the deputy making a difference to children. And a little later.
But then I kept the mindset of working twice as hard as everybody else on the field or any sport that I'm playing.
Overcoming adversity. Meet the pitcher who's done just that. Welcome back to 9 on the positive side. A group of kids and a Louisiana sheriff's deputy having a good time has gone viral. Anna McAllister shows us a refreshingly positive online video and the reason why it might make you smile. Let's check it out.
It's all in a day's work for Deputy Devin Billiot.
They was like, "You want to race?" Like, y'all got me at a severe disadvantage. I got all this extra weight on. Y'all are half my size, but Come on, let's go.
Deputy Billiot, a member of the St. John the Baptist Parish Sheriff's Office, went viral this week after a video was posted of him on social media racing several kids in a Laplace neighborhood.
He got out and played with the kids, and I hadn't seen an officer interact with children in so long that I was praising him.
Billiot says building positive relationships between children and law enforcement is part of his mission as a deputy.
It's important for the kids, especially young, to understand that us as police officers, we're here to help them. We are their friend. If they're ever in need, call us, we're coming.
And Sheriff Mike Tregg says it's deputies like Billiot who break the negative stigma that often surrounds police.
Officers sometimes do bad things, but we do a lot of good things. You have to find a way to start interacting with our youth and change that mindset.
And Deputy Billiot is helping to change that mindset. One positive interaction, or in Deputy Billiot's case, one race at a time. Anna McAllister, WGNO News.
And Sheriff Tregg says he's planning to schedule more interactive recreation events between deputies and local kids where they are, hopefully this summer. Now check this out. It's farewell for a legendary staff member at a bookstore in Ohio. Otis the cat has been an employee at Loganberry Books for 14 years. He first started working in 2008 and has been at the shop almost every day since. The bookstore held a retirement party for him so they could get one last picture, of course, and say goodbye to see him off.
Otis approached me for a job 14 years ago. He was quite persistent and good looking, good on a ladder, very good with customers, knew his jurisdictions very well, and so I took him on.
How could you say no to Otis? Like, come on. Another fabulous feline is taking over. His little sister, Alice, members say she'll have some big paws to fill. Now we want to introduce you to a new 9 on Your Side member. This is Obi, short for Obi-Wan. He's Emily Severich's sweet kitty, and we're adding him to our pet family. He loves to play and snuggle with his sister, Harley. You can see her poking her head out right there. There they are. How sweet are they together?
A nice little boost whenever I hear people, you know, they're like, hey, box boy, yeah.
Making people smile. Ahead on 9 on the positive side, why this 23-year-old says it's the little things like a piece of tape and cardboard that can really go a long way. Let's get to an inspiring story out of Wisconsin now. One baseball player there knows something about overcoming adversity. Kyle Malzahn has his story.
When life threw sophomore Easton Arndt a curveball, he didn't strike out. Instead, he took it as motivation on the mound, and he's the one delivering the Ks.
Early on, I would think to myself, like, having this disability, I wouldn't be able to do the things other people can. But then I kept the mindset of working twice as hard as everybody else on the field or any sport that I'm playing.
Easton was born with only 7 fingers, 5 on his right hand and only 2 on his left.
Early on in my grade school days, there were times where it was just like I didn't fit in with the other guys or classmates that I had, but you know that just made me want to work even harder and prove to them that I can do the things I can do.
He has a mindset that nothing's going to get in his way. I want to practice some more. I want to keep getting better at this, and let me tie my own shoes.
But despite only having 1 fully functioning hand, baseball was never an if for Easton. It was a must, and the thought of being a pitcher never scared him away.
To start, I would catch and throw with the same hand. I would catch it, take my glove off, grab the ball and throw it, all with my right hand.
But as Easton started his varsity baseball journey this season, he reached out to a glove company that did something special for him.
This past year, I got a glove from Marucci that had a custom inside exactly of my left hand. It's taken a little bit to get used to, but I'm getting there.
This mentality of never backing down to a challenge has inspired those close to him, especially DePere's baseball coach.
You know, you say you can't do math. This kid is playing at a high level as a sophomore on a really good baseball program, and he only has 1 hand that's functional. So it's a pretty cool story, and I'm going to use that moving forward in the classroom as well.
And as Easton continues to grow on the field and off, he wants his story to help motivate others.
I used to view it as a disability, but now that I'm at this level, I use it as a hand. I want to make kids that may have the same effect or something a little bit different to know that they can succeed.
For Local 5 Sports, I'm Kyle Malzahn.
A 23-year-old is spreading joy in his Pennsylvania community. Yeah, he calls himself Box Boy. His cardboard costume is making people smile. Maggie Samolka shows us how.
Typing away and sorting merchandise at Bentwookie Comics in Johnstown.
This is a second home for me.
William Dill knows how to keep a low profile. That is until he suits up in his cardboard costume.
My signature is usually the wave.
And hits the streets with smiles and waves.
It's always a nice little boost whenever I hear people, they're like, hey, Box Boy, yeah.
On a busy afternoon, cars and people pass by. They send a few beeps at the local guy known as Box Boy.
People seem to really like it. They get really excited when they see the Box Boy, and they park and take pictures with me.
His 10-year-old self would be proud.
Yeah, overall it's just a good time.
What started out of boredom grew into something much bigger.
When I started, I thought I would probably just do it for a few weeks, see how many laughs I get, and that would be it. But it kind of stuck with people. Oh yeah, sometimes they get really excited.
More than a decade later,
I just kept it going. I'm 23 now, so I've been doing it for 13 years.
The joy he brings to others keeps him going.
I'm just kind of like a local superhero to some people. Discount Iron Man.
A superhero of sorts.
Sort of like a town superhero that doesn't have any powers.
But don't let him fool you.
Yeah, did you hear that?
All his power lies in the laughs and entertainment he brings to the community.
People are like, you know what I just saw on the way to work here? I just saw the Box Boy. I didn't even know he actually existed. I thought people were lying to me. Hey, look, it's Box Boy!
It can be easy to get lost in the hustle and bustle of life. But Box Boy shows us all to look around at our surroundings and just smile.
Yeah, people see something wacky, they're gonna have a smile put on their face. They're gonna be like, what the heck was that?
A reminder that sometimes you can take the simplest things,
cardboard and tape,
and make people feel like $1 million.
And that was Maggie Samolka with that positive news story for you. Now, thanks for watching 9 on the positive side, but of course, we can't leave you. Before we go, prepare for, cuteness, a cheetah cub learning how to walk at the Cincinnati Zoo in Ohio. Oh, he just stumbled a little bit. Have a great rest of the afternoon, everyone.